Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Super Saiyan 4 Goku and the Baby banner unit that are coming for the thank you celebration, or at least part 1. So we have here the greatest evolution of power, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super in type. Obviously shares a name with the AGL Super Saiyan 4 Goku, but this one does have a change up. So we have GT heroes or full power category, 170%, 30% for those who belong to pure Saiyans or hybrid Saiyans. This is pretty good. It covers units like Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, covers units like Goku obviously himself, covers any GT heroes unit, the GT duo, basically any GT heroes unit that isn't Piccolo, I guess at this point, or Android 18 or something. And then on the full power side, pretty good coverage. You're looking at Broly's, looking at Vegeta's, looking at Trunks's, anyone that's kind of done that full power state. In terms of passive, we have Ki plus 3 attack and defense of 150%, plus an additional Ki plus 1 per Ki sphere obtained, an additional 70% attack when performing a super attack, and a high chance of a critical hit if it's an ultra super attack. An additional attack of 70% within the same turn, and an additional defense of 70% for 3 turns after receiving or evading an attack. Reduces damage received by 20%, plus an additional 70% defense, and an additional damage reduction of 20% as the first attacker in the turn. So, pretty good. Here's the thing. So obviously the first hit hits him the hardest. I think that's always the most obvious. Secondly, the way first attacker works is that if he has not actually attacked yet, then all attacks before a super attack do hit a little bit harder. But generally speaking, he's got enough to kind of take the sting out of things. And he's got a really good flexible kit. No real key issues, crit built in, pretty good looking so far. Couple that with the strong link set of Saiyan Raw, Super Saiyan, Shocking Speed, GT, Prepare for Battle, VS Battle, and he looks pretty good. Then we have obviously the standby skill. This can be activated after he's received attacks 5 or more times in battle. Stands by for 4 turns, during which his charge count increases by 2 per Intel Rainbow Ki sphere obtained and 1 by Type Ki sphere obtained. Obviously on quite a few categories. Super attack effects raises defense 1 turn, which is fine and causes colossal damage to the enemy, and then very interestingly raises defense for 4 turns, which is also quite good, and allows him to build up a little bit of defense, as long as he keeps super attacking. It also makes additionals quite favorable for him because he's already got crit on his ultra super attack that will apply to his 12 keys as well. So any additionals are basically in a pretty good position to allow him to build up additional defensive stacks. And then the standby skill mode, so he can't attack, however, defense of 300% basically becomes Oob, reduces damage received by 10% per type key sphere obtained, and guards all attacks with 3 or more type key spheres obtained for 1 turn from the start of turn. All allies get Ki plus 3 and defense of 7% for 2 turns from the start of turn. It randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to end key spheres, nullifies unarmed super attacks fired at him as well. So it's pretty good. Basically super duper tanky, very similar to the physical Trunks. So when you transform physical Trunks, then you stick him in the first slot, and he's got that guard, he's got that 50% damage reduction. Very kind of similar situation here, 300% defense, 10% per type key sphere, so you're looking at maybe 30 to 60% damage reduction on average, and then obviously the ability to guard all attacks. The one nice thing here is obviously the support factor, the defense, the additional Ki plus 3 and defense for 2 turns is really, really good. So there is a very strong defensive outlook to this unit. And then he has the finish effect. So this can be activated when charge count is 29 or less, and obviously or 30% or less. So the effects are very different. So the first is the character standby mode ends, and you recover 30% HP, and you get Ki plus 3 for 3 turns, so you don't get Goku to transform. And then the other one is the transformation into Super Saiyan 4 Power Goku. Now because it's 2 per int, 2 per rainbow, 1 per type key sphere, I wouldn't say it's hard to get Goku to transform, but it is just one of those things. I guess you could option to go for the heal, preferably. So Goku, when he transforms, is a completely different beast. Recovers 77% HP, guards all attacks for 1 turn guaranteed, and performs a critical hit for 3 turns from the start turn. Ki +7 and attack and defense of 200%, so immediately a bigger passive, plus an additional Ki +2 per Rainbow Ki Sphere or Int Ki Sphere, so pretty good, alongside this traditional original 1 Ki per type Ki Sphere. An additional attack of 150% when performing a super attack, and a great chance of performing a critical hit if it is an ultra super attack. So again, that crit chance going up essentially. Gets an additional attack of 59% and performs a guaranteed crit when Ki is 24. Gets an additional defense of 77% for 5 turns after receiving or evading an attack, so improved from 50. Reduces damage received by 25%. Gets an additional defense of 77% and an additional damage reduction of 25% as the first attacker in the turn. So just flat augmentation to his kit, and essentially becomes an absolute animal. 50% damage reduction, defense goes up quite substantially, and on top of all of that, his super attack effects change. He, now obviously has greatly raising attack alongside his raising defense, which is pretty good. Overall, Goku is really good. He elevates the SS4 category a lot. He enables, like a double Goku lead, enables you to run like the GT SS4 Vegeta and Spirit Bomb Goku. It allows you to run the physical SS4 Goku and Vegeta. He's a very good unit, and so there is, a kind of situation where I would say he's probably one of the top 5 units in the game, at least on what we can see here. Obviously there's also Baby. Baby is also obviously part of his banner. It's his banner unit. Revenge or Inhuman Deeds category, which is okay. Ki +3 attack and defense of 150%, plus an additional attack and defense of 100% when performing a super attack, plus an additional defense of 100%, attacks guaranteed to hit, performs a critical hit, and stuns the attacked enemy if there's a pure Saiyans or hybrid Saiyans enemy. So very good, just locked behind pure Saiyans or hybrid Saiyans, which isn't so bad. Like, you can still apply that to things like the Broly red zone, the Turles red zone. There's still some places where you can really use it quite well. So it is something interesting. And gets an additional Ki +3 and attack of 180% when there's a pure Saiyans category enemy. Gets an additional Ki +3 and attack of 180% when there's a hybrid Saiyans enemy. If it's anything like the AGL Baby, these will count double, so if you have both, they will both apply, which is obviously pretty cool. Revenge, Inhuman Deeds, Transformation Boost, Artificial Life Forms, Terrifying Conquerors, Target Goku, Space Traveling Warriors and GT Bosses, and the Metamorphosis, Coward, Big Bad Bosses, Dorsal Conquest GT, and Hatred of Saiyans, which is pretty interesting. Greatly raises attack and defense 1 turn, and causes supreme damage to the enemy. Baby feels bit uninspired, nothing too wild, nothing too bad, just solid. Being locked behind facing pure Saiyans, hybrid Saiyans is always going to be restrictive, because he's going to look great in certain stages and then not so great in others. That's just the baseline. It's nothing too wild. Let's take a look at the animations and see where we go from there. So I think overall the animations are pretty good. Obviously Baby's a banner unit, so it's a little bit difficult to measure how crazy his animations are, but I actually think they're pretty solid considering he's just the banner unit. Obviously Baby's not the focal point, and Goku's animations are, they're pretty top notch. I don't have any singular area of complaint with Goku's animations. For me, they look more than fine. They are perfect. I think they reference the source material properly. I think they move fluidly. I think they'll look good at, the speed increase. And yeah, I think overall they're just incredibly high quality. I don't think there's anything I would distinctly change with them. I think ultimately at the end of the day, we have a situation whereby we have a unit that has both a top-notch kit and is also just got a top-notch animation structure as well. So very good unit. more than happy with Goku's animations. I think the Oob, nothing too crazy. Obviously doesn't attack, so very much more just there to finish the select transformations. He's there to essentially just absorb attacks, so there's no attack animations, which is fine. I think they could really do with making a new Oob, which would be really cool for me, a new Majoob. But yeah, Goku, top-notch stuff, really 10 out of 10. I think, for me, only thing they could have maybe done is, honestly, there's not much I can change. There's nothing really I can think of to change. I think overall it just looks fantastic, and you can see all the animations really look so good. So I think for me, Goku's in a position whereby I think animations wise is probably one of my favorite units in the game. And yeah, bye.